Hi everybody, Coach Karen Mays here for the latest edition, the 60 days left in 2020 edition of Finish 2020 Strong. I am counting down because I'm excited to see where I get on 12/31. I have a vision in mind. We'll see. Even if it's not exactly what I envision, I think it's going to be interesting and enlightening, and I know I'm going to be lighter, stronger, and feeling better than where I am right now. And how have I been doing that? A couple of months ago, I resolved to focus on routine because after the summer, we'd kind of fallen into a bit of a rhythm with my kids home and my husband working at home, and it got to be nice. And then it was time for the kids to go back to school. My kids are back to school 5 days a week. And, as much as I was glad to have that return to somewhat of a normal, it threw me for a loop, which is not unusual for me. I know that whenever the family schedule changes, sometimes it takes me a little while to find that rhythm again. And so what I realized was that most of my routines in August and the beginning of September had really fallen away. So I thought I need to start. I kept the routine. I have the habit of eating every 2 to 3 hours. Like the certain things remained, but I had gotten to be totally out of sync with my routine. I had stopped walking every day like I had been, even though I enjoyed it so much, and so many other things. It just made everything feel hard. So I pulled out this habit tracker that I've had for probably over a year, and I thought I'm going to start putting this thing to use. And I thought about habits, routines that I could start putting into place in my daily life that would help me move forward in my journey. And it's changed. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 habits I can list every week, and there's there's 7 boxes for 7 days, and the actual things I have put in here have changed. And so this is helping me because it's, no matter what happens that day, I check off my boxes, or most of the boxes. I haven't done everything every single day. I check those boxes off. It's a successful day, even if it was challenging in other ways. I did my sit-ups, I did my side planks, I made the beds. That's good, and that is as basic as I've been starting. Making the beds, I'll be honest, making the bed is not a habit I've had for most of my life. I do it sometimes, but not regularly, and I have made a commitment to do it every single day. So what's fun is it became a habit pretty quickly. And so then I thought, well, why don't I make the kids' beds? Like, I really want to instill this habit in them too, but it's not something we have instilled in them to date. And so instead of going to them and saying, it's time for you guys to start making your beds every morning, I thought I'm gonna make it. So they have this, they get used to seeing it made when they come home from school. And eventually they will take that over. It will become their responsibility to make their beds. But it really only takes a couple minutes, not a big deal. So adding little things on like that, keep it interesting. So I've been doing 25 sit-ups every day for the past, I think I'm in week 6 or 7 now. And what's interesting about that is that some days, for no reason that I can figure out, some days it's easier to do 25 sit-ups. It's easier to do 1 sit-up than others. Some days I'm a little more flexible than others. And it's interesting to see where the resistance comes, where the mental resistance comes to just getting those 25 sit-ups done. And sometimes there's more mental resistance, maybe when I'm tired, and those might be sometimes when it's harder, but sometimes I'll be like, why is it harder to do a sit-up today than it was yesterday? And I don't have a clear answer for that. But then days like today, it was easy. It was mentally and physically easy. And so this week I've made it 25 sit-ups and 5 push-ups. So it's almost like a little game for me. I'm adding things on that serve me. And this overall, it's not really about doing push-ups and sit-ups. It's about me working on doing things at home by myself. I have been very, very resistant to doing exercise at home by myself. Even if it's not really by myself, I'm doing it on Zoom. I am very, very resistant to that. I want to go attend a class in person. I want to go walk with a friend. I want to do things in community. I have always craved and allowed myself to have the accountability of a group, and really have tried to find that in different ways. And that's not a bad thing. I think that sense of community has really served me well in many, many ways. But, I posted this morning about the obstacle is the way. And I realized that this resistance to doing even little things by myself, that because they seemed boring or I wasn't sure they would really help, things like that, that resistance was really standing in my way. It's the next obstacle standing in my way to having what I want. Because I also want to add other habits of maybe meditating, of practicing whatever I'm working on right now outside of a classroom setting. It could be our Kempo that we're working hard on. And it could be, I was doing Tai Chi. I haven't been able to do that for a couple months, schedule-wise. But that is the obstacle for me right now. And I posted earlier today about the obstacle is the way. And it really is. And so when I uncovered that was the next obstacle standing in my way to becoming a better version of myself, not just in physical activity, but in many different areas of my life, then it made this practice of just doing a few sit-ups and push-ups and some side planks and little things like that. Gave it purpose. It has given it purpose, and it relates to my why. And so when I can connect these little routines to my purpose and where I'm trying to go and what I'm trying to accomplish, all of a sudden it's not just this box I have to check off. I like having a box to check off, but if there's no meaning and purpose attached to checking that box off, it starts to fade. It starts to fade. So I've gone on a little bit, but I want to talk to you a little bit more about creating that freedom through structure. And this is how I'm working on creating more freedom in my life through structure. These little routines. And there are other ones that I'm building on. I don't have every single thing that I'm working on this list. These are very targeted ones that are non-negotiable most days. I don't want to miss 2 days in a row. So I missed Saturday, for example, Halloween. I didn't do any of them. Didn't check off a single box. Not even one. And so that made it really important that on Sunday I check off every box. So, and then there are some, I'm also using it as a learning experience. There are some things that I put in there and I never did it, or I did it like 1 day out of 7. And I had to be honest with myself that it apparently is not a priority for me to do that habit right now. And so I'll come back to it. I'll circle back to it. And so this list is strategically designed to help me create more of what I want in my life. It gives me small daily goals. It gives me a sense of accomplishment, and it's connected to the meaning and purpose of my journey and what I'm trying to create in my life. And then what I've learned is that what I create for myself has an effect on the people around me. It has an effect on my family, my children, my husband. And so I want to create more of the good stuff. So that's what's on my mind today, day 60, heading into the end of 2020, approaching my 5-year health anniversary when I started my journey. So this is all very much on my mind. I hope you're finding it helpful. If there's somebody in your life who needs to hear this today, please go ahead and give it a share. Share it with them. Share it privately or on your timeline, whatever works for you. Let me know that you're watching. Leave me a comment, leave me a hello, wave to me, an emoji, your favorite emoji. Let me know what you're working on. Are you looking to create freedom through structure in your life? It sounds paradoxical, but I've learned it's really not, because when you have these solid routines, this foundation, suddenly you have more bandwidth, more energy, more attention, more brain space to focus on the stuff that's really high level and interesting. If you find yourself consumed by the little things every day, which believe me, I have, then it's time to create some structure. It's time to create some structure and lean into it so that you can master the little things, and then get into create mode and work on the high level things. You'll have the brain space, you'll have the capacity, the energy to do all of that. So if you can relate to any of that, let me know. If it's helped you today, let me know. Leave a comment, send me a message, give me a like, give me a something. And I'm looking forward to sharing the rest of 2020 and beyond with you. So if you want to join me on this Finish 2020 Strong, just reach out and let me know. Have a great day. Happy Monday and happy November.